fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and sign up now.
This is Lewis Arthur Boxing Social in association with Empire Fight Store and William Hill. Delighted to be joined with the Medway Maverick, Mr. Dev Sahni. Little MC introduction there. MC tomorrow night. How's things, mate? How we been keeping?
The Medway Maverick. That's tremendous, Lewis Hart. Well done. What a good nickname that would be. What a good nickname. Yeah, thanks. I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. We just had the weigh-in for Ellis Zorro against Luca Dortenzi tomorrow night, live at your call. Be good. I like Ellis Zorro. It's his birthday today as well, you know. So 31 now, and time to make a bit of a statement, I think.
I was going to give you like an MC introduction there, but I didn't want to guess your height and I didn't want to guess your weight, so I just gave you a nickname anyway. But as we said, we got Ellis Zorro back out in always a stack cruiserweight division. He doesn't dance to anyone else's tune; he dances to Ellis Zorro's tune. But good for him to be back out and good to see him, another year older.
Yeah, I think so, mate. I'm sure if you ask him, he'll say, yeah, it's good to be another year older, every day above ground and all that. Look, he's coming off that great knockout win over Hosea Burton. For me, that win puts him right up there in the top bracket. I think that's probably a better win than some of the other UK cruiserweights have actually got on their resume, who are going on to like challenge for world titles and things like that. So I think he's on the cusp now. He's ranked with the WBO, ranked with the WBA, and this Luca Dortenzi guy should be a good defence for him. Should improve his ranking, keep him going the right way. Headlining at your call, headlining on TNT Sports. I think before long he'll be right up there. But he's very good. I really rate him after that Hosea Burton win. Like that was a fight that he was down in, and he ended up knocking him out with a highlight reel knockout. See one of them again, get everyone talking.
Anything else to look at on the undercard? We do see Masood Abdullah have a big step up against Marc Leach. Anything else to look up for?
Big step up. That's a huge step up. Marc Leach, no one wants to fight him, right? So Liam Davis fought him when no one wanted to fight him, and he beat him. And Liam Davis has showed how classy he is, right? Marc Leach hasn't boxed since that. I'd imagine no one really wants to fight him. He's a horrible guy to fight. He's a slippery southpaw. Who wants to fight that guy? Well, no one wants to fight Masood Abdullah either. So they're fighting each other. And Commonwealth Silver title on the line at featherweight. And look, let's see, it's a leap up in levels for Masood. And if Marc Leach can be anything like the fighter that we've seen in the past, down at the lower weights, then Masood's got a big problem. Big problem. But let's see, Masood, and his team, the Warrens, Alfie Warren, they really back him, and they've been telling us since the start that he's the future and how brilliant he is. He's looked brilliant so far, but tomorrow's a massive leap in levels.
Aside from the main and the co-main, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Any one person or one fight you could look out for on the undercard?
Yeah. There's one fight in particular, two unbeaten prospects putting their O's on the line. It's at super welterweight. Josh Frankham from the Fighting Frankham dynasty. He's 8-0. He takes on George G. Force Davey, who's 8-0-1. So it's one of them where, two prospects who are sort of going up like that, meeting quite early on in their career, and let's see. There was a little bit of argy-bargy between the teams as well, and it's just added a little bit of spice. I'm looking forward to that one.
Absolutely. Well, we'll move on. Yesterday, last Friday, actually, the day before my birthday, I was treated with some brilliant news. As we, not just me, but the whole boxing world. It was all about me. No, Fury Usyk signed, sealed, delivered. No date yet, but that will be revealed in 3 weeks' time when Tyson Fury takes on Francis Ngannou. How excited are we to see this fight finally here?
This is it. Look, I've been telling you, stop panicking. Everyone's been like panicking with this, like, oh, why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? Oh my God, he's ducking. No one's ducking anyone, right? It's all about making things at the right time, and this is most certainly the right time. And you've got an undisputed heavyweight championship fight. It's signed, and it's happening, and it's absolutely huge. And you're looking at like Fury and Ngannou right now, the sort of stuff that Riyadh season and the guys over there are doing around it. Like Ronaldo was posting about it last night to his 607 million Instagram followers. The undisputed heavyweight title fight, you'd imagine, will get similar, if not better, treatment. I think it's going to be absolutely massive, and I can't wait.
Do you think Fury played the game and played the public in a way, not got them against him, but caused a lot of frustration with the Instagram videos and this and that, and this was sort of something that came by surprise? Do you think he played the game a little bit?
I think things just happened. Look, initially Fury agreed to fight Usyk at the tail end of last year, and Usyk couldn't make the date because he was injured. So Fury went on to fight Derek Chisora. The idea was meant to be in the first part of 2023 that he would then fight Usyk, and it didn't materialise in Saudi. They tried to do it at Wembley, which completely changes the deal because now you're looking at a split of who gets what out of a pot. Rather than it's Saudi, it's people just get what they're given kind of thing. And it changed everything. And look, the story has evolved, and we've ended up in a great place with it. The fight is happening. I don't know if he was playing the public. I think whenever he's doing interviews and talking about like John Jones and all of this sort of stuff, sometimes he's just having a bit of fun. He probably will fight John Jones at some point as well, but I think we should know by now with Tyson Fury, he does like to be on the wind-up a little bit too.
Does it show also... from what Eddie Hearns said about Frank Warren being desperate, that there's no Saudi offer, there's no date, and now we see that Queensberry and Tyson Fury have both had 2 fights now in Saudi that have been agreed?
Well, look, the results are speaking for themselves. You don't need me to be out there saying things like, oh yeah, we told you so and all that. But just watch things unfold. Watch fights that people are saying are going to happen, not happen. Watch fights that other people are saying are going to happen, and just let the results speak for itself.
What fights are you talking about that haven't happened?
Well, look, I mean, let's see. I want to see all these fights. I want to see all these fights, and hopefully we get to see them. I know for sure we're going to see Fury Usyk.
Well, one of the dates, I know it hasn't been reported, didn't come out by Queensberry. Mike Coppinger reported December 23rd. That could be a looked at date. I know they're also talking about early January. Another fight on December 23rd that we're looking at by Eddie Hearn was Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr. Do you think that is actually a realistic proposition that we could see these 2 fights, or do you think common sense will prevail and they won't clash?
I don't know. The 23rd for Usyk Fury, that's come from Mike Coppinger. You haven't seen any official source, Queensberry, Top Rank, Riyadh Season, the guys over in Saudi, and no one's actually reported that. So that's just rumours. Ben Eubank, whatever they want to do, let them crack on. I'd imagine we'll go when we want to go for the Undisputed Heavyweight Championship.
Sticking on the topic of heavyweights, I know we didn't catch up after Joyce lost to Zhilei Zhang. After this loss, it's always boxing. It always comes out that you get critics, you get comments, you get all different personalities will have their opinion. One of the opinions that definitely stuck out was Tony Bellew's comments on Joyce, talking about he would lose to Fabio Wardley, and he suggesting that he's particularly not even at British level. How do you respond to them comments and all the criticism that came with it?
I'll just look. If it was someone who was with Matchroom, he wouldn't be so harsh. If that's what he thinks, then fine. It's not me to debate someone's opinion. I don't see that to be the case. I feel that fighters coming up now will probably look at Joyce as maybe he's vulnerable, maybe he's there for the taking, but I think they'd be making a mistake. And if you ask Fabio Wardley, do you think you go and knock out Joyce right now? I don't know how much confidence. Maybe he will say, yeah, I'll go and knock him out. But I think Joyce is still a problem. I still think he'd beat most heavyweights out there. He's just run into Zhilei Zhang, who happens to stand the wrong way round, be bigger than him, have some hand speed that no one really expected in the pocket, and it was all wrong for Joyce. I still think Joyce will beat a lot of guys. A bit harsh from Tony Bellew.
Sticking on the topic of Zhilei Zhang. Obviously, with that win, a massive 2 wins like that comes with a lot of what could be next. What do you think could be next for him? We talked about AJ at the Bird's Nest Stadium. What do you think's next for him?
I don't know, but I want to be there. If we're going China, take me to China. But he's established himself now as a real problem for me. I've got him. I've got a bit of stick for this. I get stick for everything, but I've got him at number 4 right now. I think he's tremendous. When you look at his resume of having secretly beat Filip Hrgović and then stopping Joyce back to back, people aren't really doing that. People aren't necessarily making massive statements like that in the heavyweight division. So he's right up there. Whatever he does next, I'm sure he'll do it very well. He's with Queensberry, and I'm sure the guys are mapping out his next step. But what he has got is that WBO interim title, which means he is the WBO mandatory for the winner of Fury Usyk. So at some point, he'll get his world title shot.
Do you feel like we could be seeing a shift now? For so long, it's been Fury Usyk, Wilder AJ, and there could be a shift now because Zhang's in that top 4 for you. So do you think there could be a potential sort of a swift or a change?
I think look, things are always moving in the heavyweight division. There was one point in time where you'd say Joyce, he's right up there as well. He's running to Zhilei Zhang. Now Zhilei Zhang's sort of taking his spot. Things happen, things move like that. And I think people are now talking about Zhang as like, I'd love to see him against Fury. I'd love to see him against Usyk. I'd love to see him against Wilder. I'd love to see him against AJ. He's now established himself in that bracket. And as things evolve, more fights happen, fighters win, fighters lose, and the heavyweight division, it moves.
And is there a worrying point with Zhang where he could end up being in the club that nobody wants to be, which is the Who Needs Me club?
Well, I mean, he can be in that club, but he'll be in the club with the WBO interim heavyweight title, which makes him mandatory. So he'll be very quickly out of that club. Who needs him? You have to need him. If you want to keep hold of your WBO title, you have to see that guy.
Going from a top 4 of heavyweights to a magnificent 7. We did see the announcement in Manchester. I mean, Nick Ball versus Isaac Dogboe.
My God.
Denzel Bentley versus Nathan Healy. I don't want to forget any fights. I'm not going to list off the whole 7, but unbelievable. Pick 'em fights the whole way through. I'm not in Manchester, unfortunately, but I'm very jealous that you will be.
Yeah, well, you should be. It's a very, very good card. The one that you didn't mention is one of like the big fights up there. Anthony Kakachi against Ryan Garner. I was looking at that. I was like, where does that fight come from? Kakachi has operated at a much higher level than Ryan Garner, and Ryan Garner, I'm not sure how many fighters he's actually beaten with a winning record, but he's looked very, very promising the last couple of fights. When he turned over, he was like 18 years old, had all the promise in the world. Frank was loving him, and looks like he's got back into the groove now. So I'm very intrigued what's going to happen in that fight. And as you say, Bull Dogboe, goodness me, that is just two little mini Mike Tysons going at each other, and I don't know who's going to win. It's one of them, isn't it? I don't know who's going to win, and I'm looking forward to Bentley Heaney as well. It's a magnificent card, my friend.
Magnificent card for a magnificent 7, but when you look at Nick Ball, does this show a massive step up from the usual competition he faces? Like, he's never really fought anyone like Isaac Dogboe and the guys that Isaac's been in with, who, there's no shame in losing to Navarrete twice and Rabisi Ramirez. So it really shows the plans that Queensbury have got for Nick Ball.
Look, he's the WBC silver champion. He emerged really on the radar of everyone when he knocked out Isaac Lowe at Wembley Stadium, right? And it looks like he's going all the way. You look at his social media and stuff like that. He's got fans behind him. His profile is improving, which always helps with this. And he's putting on great performances. Like, he's winning by knockout all the time. And he's just so watchable. He's one of those. He's like a corkscrew of a fighter. You can't take your eyes off him. So him against Dogboe, yeah, it's a big step up for Nick Ball. Let's see if he can deal with it. As you say, Dogboe's a former world champion. He's only lost to good fighters. So let's see. Very, very excited about that fight. It was one of those where, you see it on a sheet of paper, comes around the office and that, and I was just like, get it away from me. There's no way. Take this whole card away from me. There is no way that these fights are going to hold. But they've held. Like, too good to be true. Ball Dogboe. Looking forward to it.
Definitely. Moving on from next week's action, we do see former Queensbury prospect Tommy Fury taking on the influencer world KSI. Will you be watching, mate?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tommy Fury's going to absolutely splatter him, just annihilate him. I don't think KSI's got a chance against Tommy Fury. I'm very surprised that he's taken the fight. I'd imagine he's getting... It shows KSI's balls, right? I'd imagine he's getting very well compensated for it. But I see Tommy Fury turning him into a meme in this fight. I really think he'll batter him.
Is there any other fights that you're looking forward to? Salt Pappy versus Slim? Any other fights?
I don't know much about the Pappies of this world. I know the Logan against Dylan Dennis. I mean, Dylan Dennis has been going mad on Twitter, hasn't he? So he's been doing all the pictures of his bird and all stuff like that. Yeah. And then isn't he suing him or something?
Yeah, basically, so it's his fiance suing him, but Dylan's saying oh yeah, that's Logan in her ear.
Right. And then Dylan, I think he did an interview with Ariel Helwani where he said, he don't know if he's going to show up. He's a strange fella, isn't he?
I'll be honest, I interviewed Dylan just before he went on there, and we were having a good conversation, mate. He's actually a nice guy.
I mean, I'm sure he's fine. I'd expect Logan Paul to beat him. So yeah, look, I'll be tuning in. It's an intriguing sort of evening of boxing, influencer boxing.
Absolutely. Just a last one from me, and I've kept you on numerous different topics, but the last one from me, we do see Leigh Wood take on Josh Warrington. Obviously, we're talking about another featherweight there in Nick Ball. We do see an all-domestic clash for the world title. What are you thinking for this fight?
Yeah, it's a good fight. It's a tough one as well. Tough to separate. I like Josh Warrington. Obviously, we had him at Queensberry. His big fights were all at Queensberry. We became world champion, and that run of Selby, Frampton, Galahad, we had some great nights with him. So he'll always hold a special place for me. I sort of met Leigh Wood. I like him as well. He's a good guy. I don't know how the fight's going to go, to be honest. It kind of depends on what Warrington's got left, because I feel like the Warrington that we had at Queensberry, there was one point where he was unquestionably the #1 featherweight in the world, and then he kind of ran into Maurizio Lara. He had the Lopez defeat as well, although that's aged quite well. So I don't know. It depends if he's got a lot of miles on his clock. If the hunger's gone a little bit, Leigh Wood will probably take it. But if Warrington's still the guy that we had, then I see Warrington taking it. It's an intriguing fight. But obviously Nick Ball knocks them both out.
Absolutely. As always, I'm biased as well.
So does Nathaniel Collins. Don't worry about that.
Absolutely, never unlike you to, be favourable towards the Queensberry boys. Dev Sahni, always a pleasure to be catching up with you, and I'm sure we'll be catching up soon, mate. Thank you, mate. Top man. Absolutely top man.